Let's be honest, seeing a tow truck is usually a sign of a bad day. But when you need one, you really need one. The thing is, here in Melbourne, it's not always as simple as just picking up the phone. There's this whole system of rules, regulations, and costs that can really trip you up when you're already stressed out. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole process so you're prepared before you ever find yourself stranded on the side of the road.
Okay, so just picture it for a second. There's that awful sound of crunching metal, maybe the hiss of an airbag. You're shaken, but you're okay. Your car, though? Yeah, it's not going anywhere. In that moment, with all the stress and confusion, who do you even call? And maybe more importantly, who are you allowed to call? And what on earth is this going to cost you? Well, the answers might really surprise you.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start right there, in the middle of that roadside emergency. Then we'll get into what I call the two worlds of towing. It's a crucial difference. After that, we'll decode the towing bill so you know exactly what you're paying for. We'll take a quick look at the business itself, and then we'll wrap it all up with a practical guide to put you in control.
All right, let's jump right in. We're starting with the most high-stakes, most confusing situation you can be in. You've just had an accident. Those first few moments are pure chaos, and trying to make a good decision under that kind of pressure, it's tough. And this is where the rules of the game completely change. See, if your car just sputters to a halt, a simple breakdown, you can pretty much call any tow company you want. But if you're in an accident, anywhere in the Melbourne metro area or the Mornington Peninsula, that's different. The government actually steps in, and suddenly you're dealing with a whole different set of rules. This brings us to probably the single most important thing to understand. Not all tows are created equal. In Victoria, there are basically two completely separate, parallel universes for towing. And knowing which one you're in is the key to everything. Your rights, your choices, and of course, the final bill. So let's break it down side by side. On one hand, you've got accident towing. This is for crashes and collisions. It is super regulated, the prices are fixed by the government, and a central roster just sends out the next truck in line. You get no choice. On the other hand, you have breakdown towing. Think of this as the free market. Your car's dead, you can call whoever you want, and companies compete for your business on price and service. Two totally different worlds.
Now that government system for accidents operates inside what's called the controlled area. If your crash happens anywhere in Metro Melbourne or down on the peninsula, you can't just call your local guy. A central dispatch system sends the nearest truck from a roster. And while it takes the choice away from you, it's actually designed to prevent a chaotic swarm of tow trucks racing to an accident scene. It keeps things orderly.
So, what does regulated actually mean in practice? Well, for one, the special towing license is attached to the truck itself, not the driver. The government strictly limits how many of these licenses exist, which makes them incredibly valuable. All operators have to be accredited by VicRoads and pass police checks. And here's the most important part for you to remember. A legal accident tow truck must have special number plates that say tow or HTT.
Okay, now for the question on everyone's mind, the money. How much is this going to set you back? Let's get into the numbers.
Okay, you might want to sit down for this. For an accident inside that controlled area, the regulated, non-negotiable base fee is a whopping $417.11. That's a fixed price. It covers the call-out and the first 8 kilometers of travel. It's steep, yeah, but it's also standardized, so you can't be price gouged at the scene.
But wait, it can get even more expensive. If that accident happens after hours, say after 5 p.m. on a weekday or anytime on a weekend or a public holiday, you're looking at an extra surcharge of $142.35. And that's on top of that base fee.
Let's see how that plays out in a real scenario. Imagine you need a 15-kilometer tow. During a regular weekday, you'll pay the base fee plus a bit for the extra distance, coming to about $463. But if that exact same tow happens on a Saturday, that after-hours fee kicks in and the total skyrockets to over $600. It's a massive difference for the exact same service.
But remember, the two worlds. If your car just broke down, you're in a much better spot, financially. A standard 10K breakdown tow might average around $143. Because it's a competitive market, prices are all over the place, which is why it's absolutely crucial you got a full quote before you say yes.
And here's a hidden cost that can really hurt you. Storage fees. The moment your car gets towed to a depot, a clock starts ticking. You could be paying almost $50 a day just for your car to sit there. These fees add up incredibly fast and can easily end up costing more than the tow itself. The takeaway? Get your car out of there as soon as you possibly can.
So, we've gone through the rules and the regulations, the costs, but who are the people behind the wheel? Who are the companies that do this work, especially in that competitive breakdown towing world?
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of the matter. The best towing companies understand that they're not just moving a car. They're helping a person who's probably feeling stressed, vulnerable, and having a pretty terrible day. Their job is as much about providing reassurance as it is about providing a lift.
And these days, towing services are like the Swiss Army knife of vehicle problems. I mean, they do way more than just towing. We're talking everything from recovering a car from a tricky underground car park to simple roadside help like a jump start or bringing you some fuel. They're basically professional problem solvers on wheels.
Here's something you might not think about, but local knowledge is a huge plus. Say, a company based out in Rowville. They're going to know the traffic patterns on Wellington Road. They'll know the best shortcuts around Stud Road. And what does that mean for you? It means they can navigate the area way more efficiently and get to you faster. And when you're stranded, every minute counts.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. The system, the costs, the companies. But now we get to the most important part. What do you need to do? This is your practical toolkit for handling a roadside emergency like a pro.
All right, 4 simple but absolutely crucial steps. First, safety. It's number 1. Get your car off the road if you can and get those hazard lights on. Second, get your info ready. Where you are, what kind of car you have. Third, and people always forget this one in a panic, get all your valuable stuff out of the car. And finally, number 4 is a big one. Always ask questions and get a clear, itemized quote before they hook up your car.
So, what questions should you be asking? Here are the top 5. Ask for a detailed breakdown of all the charges. Confirm that their drivers are accredited and that they're insured. Check that they have the right equipment for your specific car. Get an estimated time of arrival. And finally, ask what payment methods they take. Any professional, legitimate company will have no problem answering these for you.
Okay, if you only take one single thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. At an accident scene in Melbourne's controlled area, you need to look at the number plate of the truck. If it does not clearly say tow or HTT, that truck is not legally allowed to tow your car. That is your number 1 line of defense against dodgy operators.
For an official accident tow, you'll be given a document called an authority to tow. Think of it as the official contract. It's a legal form, and it will spell out all the details, where your car is going, and a full itemized list of those regulated costs. Take a moment to read it carefully before you sign anything. So, the world of towing in Melbourne is, well, it's complicated. You've got these 2 different systems, a whole bunch of regulations, and some pretty serious costs. But it's not a mystery anymore. Now you know the difference between an accident and a breakdown tow, you know what to look for on a number plate, and you know the right questions to ask. You have the knowledge to put yourself in control. The only question is, in that moment of crisis, will you be prepared to make the right call?